So I'm going to start with 4 questions about Hanukkah, and hopefully at the end we'll come away with something meaningful to think about. Source number 1, I'm stealing the Gemara's question, which is Ma'i Hanukkah. What is Hanukkah? And it seems like the most simple of questions, but I think that that is the question of the day, which is, what is Hanukkah? You know, you don't have to guess that it's Hanukkah. If you've walked into Home Goods or Target lately, you've realized, like, Hanukkah's coming. It's right around the corner. So, like, we know, the whole world knows Hanukkah, but do we know Hanukkah? Do we really know what we're meant to think about when we light those candles? Do we really know what we're meant to appreciate? And when we look at those menorah, what the menorah even means? So, Ma'i Hanukkah, what really is Hanukkah? I almost want to argue that because it's so out there, we almost have to come back so much more strongly to like what it really is about. That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, there's the Gemara in Shabbos, which, by the way, that's where all the halachos of Hanukkah are, is in the Gemara in Shabbos. So the Gemara in Shabbos tells us, you know this, Tanu Rabbanan mitzvahs Hanukkah ner ish ubeso. At the most minimal level, the obligation for the Hanukkah ner is ner ish ubeso. Every single person lights ubeso, his house. Now, what's unique about the Hanukkah candles is that it actually is deeply interconnected to the house. Without a house, there's no chiyuv in lighting candles. It's like the mezuzah. If I don't have a house, I don't put up a mezuzah, right? When the Rambam tells us about the mitzvah of Hanukkah, fascinatingly, he uses a word that he almost never uses with relation to a mitzvah. He says, Ner Hanukkah mitzvah chaviva hi amod. Not that it's a very important mitzvah, it's chaviva. It's near dear. What's the shorish of chaviva? Chiba. You should do it with love. Because that's the teshuvah for Hanukkah, is they did it apathetically. They did it with disinterest. They were doing their Judaism because I have to. But the tikkun, the teshuvah for Hanukkah is chavivahi, that we come with a passion, that we come with an excitement. That's the teshuvah for Hanukkah. And I believe, in source number 12, that that's why we go according to Beis Hillel. We know that there's a machlokas of how to light the candles. And really, halachically, we could light 1 candle for the family. But what we do is, according to Beis Hillel, is that we light 8 candles, right? We start with 1, and then we go to 2, right? Every night we add 1, right? Malin b'kedusha, we add 1 every night. Why? I think that this gets to the heart of the answer. Is because so often in our religious lives, in lives in general, we start with a certain excitement. At least I can speak for myself. I am certainly like this. I start with an excitement, and I'm like on fire about something, and then after a little while, it starts to dissipate. Right? That initial burst of inspiration slowly wanes. And if you want to come into my house on Hanukkah, I feel like that's what my house actually looks like. Right? Like 2 days before Hanukkah, I have no doubt next week. My kids are already saying like 100 times, like as if it's when's Hanukkah? Like, okay, first is Thanksgiving, and then it's Hanukkah. We didn't get, when's Hanukkah? And they're so excited. And I have no doubt that next week, probably already like before Shabbos, they're going to want to drag the table out and set it up and be all ready like 3 days before. There's this excitement. And I also know that that night, they're going to run to the clock and run back to the menorah and run back to the clock. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Is it time yet? Right? Then come into my house on like the 6th night, the 7th night. It's usually like, Eliezer, like we're lighting, like guys, where are you? We have to get the candles together, right? And I don't know if that's what your house looks like, but right, it's like the first night was this excitement, and then it waxes and it wanes, right? It dissipates. So says Beis Hillel is our avodas Hashem should be the exact opposite. The first night of Hanukkah is just 1 candle of passion. By the 2nd, it's only more. And by the 8th night, the passion is so exciting and so intense and so real that it's a whole lit menorah. That we're so excited that our excitement only grows with every single night. It doesn't dissipate. Because that's what happened on Hanukkah, is that we were starting to take it for granted. And we were starting to say, meh, who needs this? But the teshuvah is to say, we want it. We need it. And not only that I'm excited about it, I get more excited with each passing night. And I think this is a gorgeous idea. Source 13, Rav Pincus says, is that when we look at the menorah, that's what we should be thinking about. Is, on the one hand, look at all the candles that I've lit. Look how much I've accomplished in my avodas Hashem. Yes, look how much excitement I brought to my avodas Hashem. But look at the candles that are not lit yet and look how much more excitement is yet to come. Look how much more I can light. Right? Look, yes, I want to look back on all the things that I have done, that I have accomplished, and see the light that I've lit in this world, and yet still look at what I can do. That's not boring, because look how much light I have yet to light. I can't afford to be apathetic. There's too much more light that I have to light in my personal world.